Yeah. I came up with the idea yesterday and I was just brainstorming all day. So I don't know what to do first. I'll just go from the top. So the first one,
do our boy.
the first one, hometown legend, went to a rival high school of mine. None other than Mr. Laker himself, Robert Sacre. So I never saw Sacre play in high school. I did get to see him play at Gonzaga, though. Gonzaga came out to play in Vancouver against the Hawaii Flying Rainbows at Rogers Arena. And I think I was in grade 8 or 9. And yeah, the whole team went. We all got to see Robert Sacre dominate. The documentary would mainly focus around two things. So his Lakers bench reactions, which were sweet, which would kept him in the league pretty much. And then the main feature of this documentary would be his Japanese dunk contest, which is the most electric thing. If you haven't seen it, I'll put a clip in the YouTube video. But this guy, it's so funny. Like he has
and
no.
They love him.
Yeah, it's the most weak dunk ever. The fans are throwing up 9s and 10s. They've probably never seen someone dunk like that before. He was a good player too over there. I mean, if you play Div 1 college basketball and you're in Division 2 Japan, then I guess you kind of, and you're near 7 foot, I guess you kind of have to be good. But
he's actually like not that bad of a player.
Oh yeah, like I mean, at some point he averaged 5 points.
Yeah.
So I don't know, it's not terrible. I mean, he played in the league. He played for the Lakers.
Yeah.
He's known for his bench reactions. I think it'd be a great documentary. So
also, where was he drafted again?
60th overall last year. I mean, I was so excited when that happened because I have a buddy that went to his high school, and they were all huddled around the TV and they were just celebrating like crazy. So yeah, it was good fun for a while. And then I didn't realize he retired, but he retired. So
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so he retired in 2019. So I guess I wonder if there's a Japanese basketball Hall of Fame, if he'll ever get the call to that. So all right. what's your first one?
Okay, so my first one, to take it outside of basketball, is the Mayweather Pacquiao fight in 2015. So I'm not a huge fan of boxing, and I think a lot of people out there weren't, but this fight was hyped out like out of this world. It was called the fight of the century. They sold like 4.6 million pay-per-views. Like everyone was so excited. We had Mayweather undefeated fighting Pacquiao, some good trash talk. And then it turned into it was just like a huge letdown. Like there was more hugging in this fight and like close, like cheek to cheek contact than we see in an episode of The Bachelor. Like it was just, it was disappointing. Probably the best thing about that, like you would have to do like 4 episodes of a documentary just on all their talks for setting up the actual bout. Like the fight itself would probably be like 2 minutes of the whole documentary.
Yeah, I think like a good part of the documentary would just be all the people illegally streaming it on Instagram, like you were pointing out. So
that honestly would be the best part.
Like there's you mentioned in the notes that you watch it on Paul Chalimo's Instagram.
Yeah.
So I don't know how many people know who Paul Chalimo is watching this, but he's 2016 Olympic silver medalist in the 5,000 meters. And so I guess I did the same thing. So I didn't pay for it on pay-per-view or anything.
Oh, it was expensive.
Yeah. So we were just watching it on Instagram live through Paul Chalimo's Instagram. And it was like such bad quality, but his commentary was electric.
Yeah. It was like him in a bar filming from like 15 feet away of the screen.
Yeah. I remember because I was over at a friend's house and we were watching it, and like this guy became a lifelong Paul Chalimo fan. So
yeah, it's true. If you did a documentary on this, the documentary would be about everything except for the fight itself.
Yeah, so I think Paul Chelimo definitely deserves a feature in it. So
Yeah.
for my second one, mine are so stupid. Most people probably know who he is, but his name is Jon Rauch. And you may be wondering why someone would ever do a documentary on Jon Rauch. Well, first of all, he's 6'11", 290 pounds. He's got tattoo arm sleeves, and he's closed ball games in his career. You know, like he's menacing. He's 6'11", got the tattoos, makes hitters piss their pants before they get up into the batter's box. And this guy was topping out at 89 miles per hour for most of his career. Like
we gotta put up a picture for the YouTube guys in here.
Yeah, but
see him.
Like how can you be that tall and that menacing, and you're throwing 89? Like, what are you doing? That's like, I mean, you have Randy Johnson, who's like 6'10", blows 100 from the left side, and then you have Jon Rauch, 6'11", tops out at 89. I mean, like, what are you doing? I'm sure his stuff plays up because he's so tall and his stride's so long and he can release it closer to the plate. But I mean, what are you doing? Just 89 miles per hour. And I guess the documentary would cover just the mental hurdle of being that tall and being that menacing and only throwing 89. So I guess it would be more of a documentary to get inside of the head of Jon Rauch. So that's my second one.
Yeah, I mean, I would probably watch that. That'd be wild.
All right, what's your second one?
Okay, so for my next one here, I think the title of this one would probably be The Chosen One. And then the subtitle would definitely be like The Greatest Canada Has Ever Produced, Anthony Bennett. So this Anthony Bennett, like, I don't know if it would necessarily be a terrible documentary, because his fall from college and from first overall pick would maybe actually be interesting. But
I think it would actually be cool to look at what it's like being like labeled the biggest bust in NBA.
Yeah, it actually, like, it would be a terrible documentary following him for his basketball pursuits, but just the pure entertainment of it would be pretty interesting. So for those who don't know, Anthony Bennett was drafted first overall 2013. He did kind of overcome a lot to make it to the league, out of Brampton, single mother, 2 jobs. So yeah, he made it to the league. It just kind of started like even 1 month before the actual draft. He had surgery for sleep apnea and asthma. And I mean, this should have foreshadowed his career. He was a stud in college, but he was kind of injured, so it was hard sample size. And then he finally made it to the league, and it took him like 2 years to score in the double digits. It was the slowest ever double-digit game for a first overall pick. He ended up playing in the Euro League. He's a Euro League champion. He averaged 1 point a game. And I think most recently, like last year, he may have played in the G League for the Clippers. But okay. I'm not quite sure. But yeah, there would be some interesting stops along this, but his actual basketball part would just be brutal. Yeah. Okay, what do you have next?
This next documentary, it's going to be more of a spiritual journey. So it starts out with DeMar DeRozan. The opening scene is DeMar DeRozan on the left wing going, and then he 360s and nearly dunks on Jia Chen. So this happened in 2016. If you don't remember, it's the missed dunk from DeMar DeRozan playing for the USA national team in preparation for the Olympics that year. So he does a 360 and nearly ends this man's career. Like you have to retire instantly if he makes that dunk. So I would like to this documentary to cover Jia Chen's second go at life. Like you have to kind of feel like he has a second life at basketball, and then you could bring on Vince Carter and Frederick Weiss, because Vince Carter ended Frederick Weiss's career with that dunk when he jumped over him. So I think maybe a 2-parter. The first part would just be the dunk, just looking at the reactions, looking at the dunk itself, and then the second part would just be a comparison of Vince Carter and Frederick Wies's versus Jia Chen's, and maybe Frederick Wies can offer some life to Jia Chen. And yeah, I think it would be just a fantastic documentary. What's your third one? What's your third one, Tanner?
So my third one could be one of my weaker ones, but I think a pretty terrible documentary like this in itself is going to be just a terrible like outing at the theaters.
I don't understand it at all from what you wrote.
Like, I think a documentary about the making of Space Jam 2 would probably gross like negative 50 million in the box office. Like the fact that the stars in it are Chris Paul and Kyle Kuzma, like just picture this documentary. You have them going to ask Michael Jordan, do you want to do Space Jam 2? He says, I don't think so. Maybe we do one with Tiger Woods. They say, no, we don't want to do one with Tiger Woods. We want to do one in basketball. They say, who do you think we should do it in basketball for? He says, Blake Griffin. No joke. That's actually what he said.
I saw that the other day. Yeah.
Yeah. So we started off with LeBron thinking he's the chosen one. Meanwhile, the chosen one is Blake Griffin. Go through, LeBron's putting all this money in. He's trying to hype it up on Twitter. He's given these Twitter reviews. I think it was back in like January. He started reviewing some TV shows on his Twitter. Brutal. I would never want to watch that. Just terrible. They honestly like, and if LeBron is making this documentary, worst of all, some of you guys may like this. I hate this. Like I would rather boil my eyeballs than listen to this or watch this. And it's when LeBron does his Taco Tuesday. He would probably want like a 30-minute feature of just him saying his stupid Taco Tuesday.
Are you just a LeBron hater?
No, he's the GOAT.
So for my last one, I think this might be the most electric idea of all time. I'm not trying to brag or anything, but I hope no one's ever thought of this before. But whenever Woj or Shams has a scoop and then everyone replies under it, Woj bomb and stuff like that, what I was thinking is that we make this an amazing race. So this isn't as much of a documentary. I guess it's kind of more of a reality show. So you give, or I guess one team has a scoop. So say, I don't know, Pascal Siakam signs a contract extension. I don't know, whatever. And so Masai Ujiri has a scoop, and he's not. I don't even know how this is going to work, if I'm being honest. But
it's a great idea.
So Masai Ujiri has to tell one person, I guess, and he has to give Woj and Shams a clue. So they have to figure out who they have to contact. Maybe it's like a little riddle or something. Nice little riddle. You have to go through the contacts or something, figure out who they have to contact next. And then maybe this guy gives them a challenge, like a typing challenge, a keyboard challenge. You have to type up something.
Challenge.
You have to like whip your phone out, type quickly. Whoever gets it under 10 seconds, then they can advance. And then it's just an amazing race to get the scoop. I think that would be electric TV.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out if this is a terrible documentary or an amazing documentary.
It has to be ironed out a bit. I did not explain it very well. I don't know how to like get
kind of a half-baked idea.
Yeah, a little bit. Like I don't know how it would work. Like the Masai has the scoop, and I guess 3 people or so have to be involved. So
why?
Because there's different stages. Like one person has the initial clue, and whatever. Maybe it's just a riddle to find the next person.
It gets sent to both of them at the same time, and then they race to see who can figure it out first.
All right, so the riddle is just sent directly to them, and the first riddle is going to be just a clue about someone in both of their contacts. It's the same person, obviously.
Yeah, has like a lead.
Yeah, so this person, once they find them, they have to complete a task to get the next clue. So that's the typing competition. And then I don't know what the third clue will be, but once you get past the third clue, then you can get to Masai and get the scoop. So, I mean, I think
Okay.
it's pretty genius.
Yeah. I think, yeah, that's really good, actually. I think like 4 people would watch it.
I mean, it's more than our first podcast.
Yeah.